President, I ask unanimous consent for the following interns from my office to be granted 4 privileges until June 19th, 2026. Nathan Hayes, Bradley Fuselier, Gabby Summerall, and Lucy John.
Without objection.
Mr. President, Nathan Hayes, to whom I just referred as an intern in my office, he's from Baton Rouge. He's a rising junior at LSU. Lucy John is from Lafayette, Louisiana. Lucy is a rising senior at Tulane. Bradley Fuselier is from Ville Platte. Bradley is a rising senior at LSU, and Gabby Summerall from Monroe is a rising junior at Covenant College. They are interning in my office this summer, and I am glad to have them. Last night, Mr. President, I read the Memorandum of Understanding between the United States and Iran. I read it twice. And for what it's worth, here's my conclusion. I think we ought to give peace a chance. And that's all I'm saying today. You're entitled to your opinion, but all I'm saying today is I think we ought to give peace a chance. I've all week long, even before the memorandum came out, I've heard all the speculation about the agreement, the rank speculation. I've listened to people say, well, I don't like this and I don't like that, and this is in it and it shouldn't be, and this isn't in it and it should be, and if we do this, this is going to happen. And it's all rank speculation. The people offering these points of view, to which they're entitled, they're not clairvoyant. They're not any more clairvoyant than I am. Just like me, they have to wait for the future, like everybody else. Here's what I see in the document. The only certainty, the only practical, real consequence of this document is that for 60 days, America has removed its blockade of the Strait of Hormuz. And for 60 days, Iran has removed its blockade of the Strait of Hormuz, which means ships containing oil and natural gas and fertilizer can go back and forth just like they were before the conflict started. The other practical consequence is that Iran will be able to start selling its oil again for 60 days. The other thing that we're certain of is that as a result of this agreement, the price of oil is going down. And as a result of that, the price of gasoline is going down. And as a result of the Strait of Hormuz being open, the price of fertilizer, for example, and other commodities that go back and forth through the Strait of Hormuz are coming down, and that's a good thing. And that's all we know. That's the only practical consequence of this document. Now, in the document, Iran says that it is willing to negotiate for 60 days to get rid of its fissile material that it can use to make a nuclear weapon, including but not limited to its centrifuges that it uses to enrich the uranium. And in the document, Iran says we're willing to renounce our desire to have a nuclear weapon. And in the document, Iran says for 60 days, we're willing to negotiate some sort of inspection protocol so that the world can go in and make sure that Iran is telling the truth. They've got 60 days to do it. Not 160, not a year. They've got 60 days. And President Trump has said if they don't do it, I think his expression was, I'll start dropping bombs on their head again. That's the other thing that we know. Now, this might be a good time, Mr. President, to say that as I've said all week, and as I've said in another context before, I trust the Iranian government like I trust gas station sushi. The Iranian government, not the Iranian people, the Iranian government are a bunch of religious nuts. Their religion tells them that if you and I or anybody don't agree with all the tenets of their religion, that they want to kill you and hurt you the entire time you're dying. As far as I'm concerned, if your religion tells you in order to be devout you have to kill somebody, you probably ought to get another religion. My experience with the Iranian government, not the Iranian people, is that they lie like they breathe. They lie like fish swim. They learned to lie before they learned to talk. But you know what? They've got 60 days to prove otherwise. 60 days, not 160, not a year. They've got 60 days to prove otherwise. And if they don't prove it, the bombing is going to start again. I heard President Trump say it last night. Big as Dallas, right there on television. They got 60 days. And if they don't do it, if they're jacking me around, I'm going to start bombing again. The other thing that I'm certain of today is that Iran is immeasurably weaker than it was a year ago, than it was before the United States and Israel bombed their nuclear facilities last June, and before the conflict that we've watched transpire over the last couple of months. Immeasurably weaker. There are whole swaths of Iran that look like the aftermath of a bar brawl. There are entire regions in Iran that look like something out of Mad Max 4. We have bombed the living bejesus out of them. We haven't destroyed all their missiles, but we've destroyed a bunch of them. We've destroyed their weapons production factories. We've destroyed their entire Navy. We've destroyed a lot of their drones. We have just given them a curb stomping. Hated to do it, but we did what we have to do. The private sector, Iran's got, I don't know how anybody's eating or living in Iran. They've got 70% inflation, huge unemployment. Iran today, and I regret this, but it had to be done. Iran today, its public and private sector, is held together with spit and duct tape. And all the president has done is say, okay, for 60 days, I'm going to give peace a chance and give you a chance to do what you say you're going to do. 60 days. That's it. I hope it works out. I've got my doubts. But the president's taken a big risk here. And he's been roundly criticized by my Democratic friends, which I don't really get. You know, since the conflict started, my Democratic colleagues have been offering bill after bill after bill to stop the conflict and to take the authority away from the executive branch to prosecute it. I don't know how many bills, a squillion. Bill after bill after bill. They haven't passed. But now that the president has done it, the Democrats are unhappy. The New York Times, I was reading the New York Times this morning. I mean, they're just bashing this agreement, which they've been asking for. Now, I don't mean any disrespect, but I discount what's in the New York Times because I know the folks running the New York Times. And the folks running the New York Times hate Republicans as much as the devil loves sin. The New York Times, the people running the New York Times, would endorse a dead armadillo over a live Republican if the dead armadillo had a D behind its name. That's just the way it is. I get it. They're entitled to their opinion. And the New York Times has been called many things, some good, some bad. They've never been called unbiased. That's just a fact. It goes with the turf. And once again, this is America. You're entitled to your opinion. But I wanted to come down this morning and say, Mr. President, I think we ought to give peace a chance. I think we ought to give peace a chance. It's only 60 days. And we're just going to have to trust the president on this one. But we'll know soon. And I hope it works. I hope our giving peace a chance makes peace possible. Mr. President, my work here is done. I can see myself out.